Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I'm your host, Phillip Ramsey. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited to talk to you about the more technical, strategy today, and it's called Roth Conversions. What in the world is a Roth conversion? A Roth conversion, and I'm not reading this, so it's just Phillip off the cuff, is when retirees or non-retirees take money from a qualified IRA account or a 401k account and move it over to a Roth. Roths are tax different. If you know anything about Roths, you already get taxed when you put it in there. So taxes are taken out of it, ordinary income, and then you put it into a Roth. They get to grow tax-free, and then you get to access those tax-free. So a Roth conversion is a powerful strategy that people will do. A lot of times, this is the way that we like to implement it. After you're retired, where you have no more income, that's the best time to convert some of those monies from an IRA, because you're going to be triggering income tax and then converting them over to a Roth IRA, which then can grow tax-free and you can access it tax-free. So this strategy is really, I would say, pretty neat, and it allows your money to grow longer, faster. But you have to take the initial hit first, and you don't really get that money. So that's kind of interesting. You take the money out. Let's say you convert $30,000 in a year. Well, the government sees that you took that money as income. So you get taxed on that $30,000. And depending on which tax bracket you're in, can be 12%, 22%, 24%, 33%. It depends on which one you're in. But that's what it'll get taxed as. And then you owe that money at the end of the year. Although you haven't really taken that money, you put it over into an account like a Roth IRA account in this example, and then that gets to grow tax-free. So this Roth conversion sounds kind of like a bad deal because you don't get to get it in your money. You don't get it in your pocket, I would say. But the good news is, once it's in there, you don't have to do this thing called an RMD, or a required minimum distribution. Once your monies are in a Roth IRA, those can grow tax-free. And then when you're 70, depending on the age, it's either around 73 or 75, depends on when you were born. You have to take these things called required minimum distributions out of your IRAs or your of your 401ks, your 403bs, your 557s, all these things that the government hasn't been taxed on. There comes a point, and you get so old, or you get to of age, I'll say, young 75, and they're wanting their taxes out. The government is like, okay, you've avoided taxes for so long. You actually got a tax deduction to put it in these accounts. Now it's time for you to take those monies out, and we want to start taxing those. Okay. So they will start pushing those out, and that percentage, there's like a calculation that goes up every year. So when you're 76, it's a little bit more than when you're 75. When you're 77, it's a little bit more than when you were 76, and a little bit more than you were 75. So that percentage goes up of more that they're pushing out of that account, because they're starting to wanting to get their taxes out of it. So you get to avoid the RMDs. The RMDs end up being like, if you have $1 million, like, it starts pushing that money out even when you don't need it. So at that point, you can also do a Roth conversion, or in this example, a lot of times it's more beneficial to do a Roth conversion when you're younger, I would say, and let it grow tax-free. And then you don't have to worry about the RMDs. The government can't tell you when to take it out. There are also Roth IRAs are a little bit, I would say, more efficient to pass to the next generation. So if you're thinking about like the legacy transfer, things like that. But the Roth conversion is a pretty powerful tool. If you've never heard about it, now you have. You can talk to your advisor about it. You can talk to us. We would love to tell you more information about it. uncommonwealth.com. Click on Talk to Us Now. Schedule an appointment. But that could be a really cool strategy that you can look at your plan in a little bit different perspective and see if this is a good thing for you. Anyway, that's enough for now. I know technical stuff isn't that exciting, but it is helpful, and I think it's powerful for some people. So you've been listening to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. I've been your host, Phillip Ramsey, and until next time, have a good day.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.